good morning. This is Jared and Nate over at eCarrierCheck. We're coming to you live today to talk a little bit about carriers, talk about, how to look at our site, use our site to find the right carriers.
Yeah.
We get this question all the time, Nate, and you have to't it constantly is, well, I'm getting this list. What do I do next?
Right.
So we're talking about that today. I'm excited. We're going to be showing our screen and going from there. Nate, obviously, when it comes to searching carriers, obviously we kind of kill that.
Oh,
right?
yes, we do.
It's very deep. I've heard multiple conversations with brokers where, one of their shippers came to them. Their current contract guy couldn't actually do the work, and they needed them to do some backup. And because of eCarrierCheck's, functionality to get so granular, right? They ended up calling the carrier that shipper was using.
Right. Yeah. It was getting weird.
Just made it awkward, right?
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow! Just made it completely awkward. It's very entertaining, but I think it's really important that we break it down today.
Yep.
Obviously, we're talking about 3 ways to hire the best carriers. We're going to show how to do this on our site today, and we're going to talk about those things. But I want you to just talk us through, some of those things without going into our. Without going on, hey, Brian, what's up, brother? Where are you at?
Hey, man.
Tell me where you're at, because we're talking about you today a little bit. I'm kind of excited to have you on.
Yes.
But talk about, when you're talking to our clients, what are they looking for carriers?
Yeah, so a lot of them, they're looking for carriers that obviously want to have inspections and that are going in those areas that shipper is needing to go to, right? And what's super nice is we can show you all that on eCarrierCheck, but to get in more deeper, when you look for that carrier, like Tire Killer, he is on point. He's very good at communicating. I mean, I've never talked to the guy, but you can tell he's here every week,
all the time. Love this.
But you want someone that's experienced, like Tire Killer, someone that's good at problem solving. You know what I mean? Like when something happens,
that's an interesting question.
We need a problem solver.
Yeah, that's so funny. When I was brokering, I used to broker with this guy that always said, there's carriers that have that sort of can-do attitude, because nothing is gonna happen the way you expect it to.
Oh, of course, it's life. That's life.
There's something stupid all the time, right? And so having somebody that's flexible, has a flexible mindset, to just transactionally find a carrier, there's nothing wrong with that. I've done it. I've found a lot of carriers through load boards, but when you get the opportunity to shine and do your best work in your client's view, right? Let's go out and actually find one. Let's go out and source one. Let's actually do the old school thing, pick up the phone and have conversations with carriers.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
That little conversation really does go a long way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Missouri headed to Kansas. Interesting. How's the step deck? Is it, do you like it? Do you like the step deck business? Do you find that having a step deck, are you limited with certain things or not? I'd be interested to, do you have risers? I'd be kind of interested. We got to have him on someday.
I know. I love that.
I just feel like we have something on. But really, let's talk about the 3 things, 3 ways to hire, is it?
Yeah, I'm not the best speller.
It's fine.
I had a user of mine reach out.
We're in trucking.
He's like, what the heck are you doing, Nate? I don't know. It must be the Red Bull. Yeah. I adjusted it some. Don't judge me.
You're fine. I love it. You know what I like is that we coordinated today. We both have blue on.
They didn't even plan.
Yeah, it looks good. Just kind of bringing the house today.
Yeah.
So let's talk through this real quick. Here's a few things, just kind of tidbits, and then you can do your live from the cab of his truck. That would be, oh my gosh, can you imagine? We're just driving down the road, just air ride seats,
Take
just
me to
doing
Kansas,
it. Oh my gosh, I'm with you. If we can go to that diamond mine, that's what I'd like to do. But let's talk about the 3 ways to hire the best carriers, right? There's a few things that we have. Obviously, the risk radar is sort of, it used to be safety, right?
Right.
You'd always be like, this guy's conditional. I'm not going to hire him. Now, is that important? It is, right?
Yeah, in a way.
But now there's so much more complexity to hiring carriers, right? Am I hiring a double broker? Did I take the time to vet them on eCarrierCheck and use our risk radar, right? I mean, for the most part, to be honest with you, our risk radar, for those of you that use it, the users, if you're on point and you're watching it, It's pretty simple.
It is.
Don't hire the friggin' high risk carriers.
Exactly. And the information and data that we show you guys, it's easy to understand too as well.
Yeah.
We'll show you what happened in the last 6 months. Heck, we'll even show you if a carrier themes to be sharing that, the trailers.
Yeah.
I mean, we get weird and we get pretty deep.
So. We get really, really granular.
Yeah.
And I don't know if really people understand, we're definitely one of those icebergs, the meme iceberg.
Yeah.
We're just extremely deep when it comes to our VIN database, the way we do things. So the hiring index, or not the hiring index, the risk index, number one, right? This is something you have to look at.
Yeah.
And if we say they're high risk, I just walk away, find a new carrier.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And number two, though, is obviously on eCarrierCheck, we have the ability to find the right equipment, right? You can sort just simply and go in and say, well, I need to find some vans, or I need to find flatbed stretch, whatever you need to find. You need to find those people that are really, specifically in your equipment needs, right? Here's something that I used to hate. You're going to love this.
Yeah.
I used to, first off, I would post a load, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if nobody called, what do you do? Right? This is why we built eCarrierCheck. That simple statement right there. If nobody calls, what the heck do you do? And I would get this all the time because I moved van loads from Chicago to LA. Every day I did. Every single day I had a Chicago to, and there were days where Chicago, I couldn't find the right guy that could meet it was a night pickup. There was some weird stuff about it. I totally get it.
Yep.
But what would happen is I'd start calling, and the database I was using, didn't really, do they have reefers? Do they have vans? Did they go to California? Right. And so this would piss me off. I'd call and I'd have a conversation. I'd say, hey, I'm looking for a van to go from Chicago to California, hoping to get this done Thursday or Friday of this week. If you have any, capacity, here's what I'm paying. Right. And the first guy would always say, well, I don't go to California.
Yep.
And California is kind of this crazy, nothing wrong with California.
Yeah.
I love you guys in California.
Mm-hmm.
They just have some different restrictions. It's like going into another country.
Yeah.
But the first guy would tell they don't go to California. The second guy, I'd be like, hey, I'm looking for a van. And this guy'd be like, oh, all I have is reefers.
Mm.
And I'm like, good Lord, and he's like, I'll go to California. So I'd always find the opposite of what I was trying to find. And you would not necessarily waste your time, because every phone call is an opportunity to build a relationship. But you kind of need to know when to keep moving.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Because it's no different than dating, right? There are certain people you mesh with, and there are certain people it's just time to kind of keep moving.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
And BS Cali blows. Yeah, no, I'm not going to disagree with you. Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just hard to find the right person. So you just need to understand when to respectfully communicate and walk away.
Right. And what's subtle, super, I think some of that super, that's kind of being swept under the rug here is understanding or knowing that eCarrierCheck was built by you, who used to be a freight broker. You've been in this industry.
Yeah.
I don't want to date you, but I wasn't still in school when you were in this
I don't want to
industry.
talk about it either. There's a lot of gray. This is why I'm going shorter on my hair.
But that's what's super nice to have a site like this, knowing that, other people out there have gone through things like what you've gone through.
Yeah.
And we're here to help you, everyone that's watching, solve a problem that
you're
going through. So.
Yeah, you got to find the right carriers, right? So 3 ways to hire the best carriers. Number 1, use our risk radar. Mm-hmm. That's going to help. And we're going to show you that here in a few, right? Number 2 is finding the right equipment that makes the most sense for you, right? And number 3 is finding people that geographically make sense.
Right.
And this is probably one of the most interesting things. Brian just says nothing west of I-35. Cali blows, get all that, right? But guess what? Every one of these carriers runs their own network. Mm-hmm. And at eCarrierCheck, we show you that. Yep. What is their network? Are they regional? Are they long haul? We can even show you, and I think this is interesting too, that I really want you to show, is if I exhausted a list of local carriers and I couldn't find anybody, I just made 45 calls. It happens.
Oh, yeah.
It happens. It's logistics, right? And I can't find someone geographically that's from that area, right? We have, you can look up inspections as well, right?
Yeah.
And carriers that are working in that area consistently, so that you can pick up the phone and say, hey, best case scenario, what do you have? Do you have somebody in Chicago this week or next?
And that's the right question. How often are you there? You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I love that. The inspections is something.
I think that's probably one of the more interesting questions. When you're calling carriers, give them the respect a day and have your stuff together.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You know, ask the right questions. Ask them questions that make a difference, and I'll give you some examples. You know, first and foremost, people just can't just stop what they're doing. They weren't waiting for your phone call. They're trying to operate their business, right?
Right.
So here's how usually a carrier call goes, right? It'd be like, hey, this is Jared over Nebraska Transport, right? And the reason for the call is I'm looking for carriers that can do this specific lane. And believe me, I get it. If you're calling carriers, you probably need that guy today,
Right.
or yesterday.
Right.
In the carrier's world, it's like if I called Brian right now and said, where was he going? Missouri, headed to Kansas.
Yep.
If I called Brian tomorrow or today and said, hey, I need a load picked up in Missouri today, well, he's headed to Kansas.
He says he can.
Right. So that's the other thing with understanding is know the size of the carrier, ask them the right questions. You know, when you say inspections, are you referring to an actual inspection? Yes, actually, this is a great question. So yeah, we do pull that data in, Brian, so that we can show where people are at with inspections, things like that. So yeah, we do pull that in so that we can kind of show you those carrier networks, and we'll show that here in a sec on our screen, so Nate can pull up the map and go down that road. And last but certainly not least, I mean, obviously, just respect their time.
Yes.
Respect them as a person. We're all humans. We need to be able to communicate effectively, and just be intentional with them and let them know what you need up front and see if that's a need that they need as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And this will also help you be proactive. You know, I heard a broker last week at that local brokerage, and this guy's calling on loads for next week. He's just trying to get prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's planning out his week. I love that too. Yeah. So
the other thing that happens too, and this happens a lot, right, is when you deal with somebody, you know, this industry is honestly a little bit gruffer than most, right?
Oh, yeah.
At least just say goodbye. Don't just hang up. You know,
Thank you for your time.
Yes, exactly. Be a human, for the love of God. Can we just be humans and be kind and just treat each other like we used to? You know. So let's look at the site, Nate. Walk us through kind of all those things.
Okay.
The hiring index, how you find the right equipment. You know, how do you find carriers that are being inspected, like Brian's talking about, and even the lane search. I'll let you kind of drive through your thing. I'm going to soak on some coffee here first.
Yeah, for sure. So essentially what we're going to build you or help you build is a list that makes sense, right? And like Jared said, we can hone down, you know, our list like crazy. So I'm just going to find some flatbed carriers. I'm going to show you a couple of things, and we'll just go to Chicago. And then the next thing I'm going to do is actually carriers that operate near Chicago.
Love that.
Like what you mentioned. So let's just go see some flatbed carriers in that Chicago market, right? So here's here's where I'm at. You know, we can even bring my radius in. It goes up to 300, you know, if you want to get that weird, but let's just hone down a little bit closer. So, you know, here's our list.
That does make a big difference. I mean, how many carriers are per page?
25.
Exactly. There's 58 pages.
Right.
You know, where do you even start? Right. You know, where do you start? Because that's, I mean, just to do the math real quick, because I can't do it in my head, that's 1,400 friggin' carriers. Right.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of carriers. Where do we start?
Yeah, and everything that Jared mentioned too, like the size of the company, to, you know, whether maybe it's a driver team. We have filters on that left-hand side. You can even sort by hiring risks, but those are all there to help you make this list even better. But you can see how, you know, these guys are doing flatbed, and there's our risk radar, you know, safety scores, and everything that we have on here, which is nice because I'm big on this. But if you hover over it, we're going to give you an explanation and why we're putting that there for you. How can this help you vet this carrier, right? We'll show you how many inspections within the 12 months, how many, you know, power units they have. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I truly believe, and I'll let you keep running, but I truly believe that every day, 1 hour a day, just set a clock. Every day, whether you have loads or not, you're trying to build relationships. You should have a relationship hour, and you're calling carriers, you're getting to know them. To be honest with you, I can say that obviously I was educated by fire, by working for, several trucking companies and just kind of doing what I do. But I got so much education from calling people like Tire Killer, and he would just give me little nuggets.
Right.
Maybe it's about the way he tarps and he's using, you know, or maybe it's challenges that he's had, right? And it just allows me to not only mimic what he's saying, it also lets me understand the knowledge that he's got in his head.
Right.
So I'll let you keep going.
That's huge.
But I just wanted to share those thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So And the other thing I do want to show you, what happens if these guys can't pick up or, they don't have the capacity like Jared mentioned. Well, then we can switch from located near that operate near Chicago. And then we just simply hit search. And you're going to notice that not every carrier is going to be from that Chicago area. So, this guy's out of Arkansas, Pennsylvania, there's the Illinois guy, Wisconsin, Arizona. And these are big dogs too, it looks like.
They are. Maybe switch it over to, small and mid-size. Let's just grab some of the, even large. You know what I mean? Go right there. Just grab small, mid-size, large. These are carriers that are more likely to not have you jump through so many hoops. They've still got 38 pages. And look at that cat right there. BL Duke, I love this guy. What's he do? Okay, he's a garbage guy, so that's probably a bad one. Keep going. Right? What's this guy do? Right? Okay. Rock transfer. That's probably not the best. Construction, farm supplies. Perfect.
Sign me up.
Yeah, this is the guy, right?
Right.
So we show you what they registered for with the FMCSA. We also show you the types of equipment that they have, right? The garbage guy, he's got bulk trucks, right? I mean, it's a garbage truck, right? So if I'm searching for that flatbed in Chicago like you're looking for, I'm going to scroll through this first as well, right? Let's make that list as intentional as possible.
Right, definitely. And some other things too that we also talked about is figuring out, maybe you want to see where he's been inspected. Obviously, he's been inspected in Chicago.
Yep.
So why he's on this list.
Yep.
And what's really nice, our programmers made a quick way of going into a carrier profile by clicking these images to check that out.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know that. Actually.
Yeah.
I love that. It was a really good job.
I love it. Thanks to our team over there. But let's check out this map. This is what I want everyone to focus on here.
Look at this. This is definitely one of those things that we start to see their regional, their bow tie, they're essentially, the way they run their network.
Right. It's kind of nice. I mean, we can give you almost like, I don't know what the perfect way to put this, but a lot about this company before making that phone call.
Yeah.
Then you know what to talk about. You know what to bring up. Does it make sense to, maybe have a logo to Philly? Yeah, for this guy possibly.
If you scroll out, just scroll out so we can see the whole United States for the sake of it. Okay. Go back in real quick then. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything off the map. If I've got a load going to California, I'm probably not going to hire this guy.
Probably not.
Right?
If you were to try, you'd probably ask for a lot of money.
Yeah, you'd probably. I'm going to guess this cat just likes to stay within a 600, 700-mile radius of Chicago.
Probably likes to be home on the weekends.
With a weird emphasis in Chicago. Look at how many inspections are in Chicago.
Oh, gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
There's 30 right there. Right. So we heat map that for you. We give you the ability to just make some decisions before you make that phone call. We only have, whether you're Bill Gates, me and you, everyone has the same amount of time in a day.
Right.
So nobody's getting extra.
Right.
So let's just do a little bit of due diligence and let's check. Right. I love this. Keep cooking here.
Yep. And then of course, give some love to your carriers. You know what I mean? If you do hire this cat and he does a great job, give him a kudos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
This just helps. We're all a team. I'm a big fan of the kudos.
I am too.
I think everyone needs to use that. So.
I am too. And same with the freight flops. If this guy didn't do a good job for you,
right.
Definitely something. A couple things that I'm a big fan of are our utilities. They were really just areas that we built our software around, areas that I struggle with, right? And that's staying organized,
right?
That's communication. Talk through that real quick, because I know we're trying to find carriers.
Right.
We're really being pinpointed.
Yeah,
let's talk.
And that is one of the things I wrote down here was find those drivers with those communication skills, and that also means you as a freight broker should have that skill as well.
Yeah.
And in order for us to kind of help you with that, if the carrier's on the road and he's like, hey, Jerry, call me tomorrow. I've got this load going. Today I'm kind of busy.
Yeah.
Well, set that reminder. Say, okay, hey, Zach, or whatever that guy is, I'll give you a call tomorrow at noon. Let's chat out that load for next week.
Yeah.
We can set you a reminder for that. Here's tomorrow, add your time, set it, right?
Away we go.
You can monitor your carriers. You can put them in lists. If you're going to have this load weekly, maybe we throw a list and say, these are my open deck, Chicago guys that are being inspected, whatever. You can create your list, add some colors, really stay organized.
Yeah.
One of the few things too that I think people kind of step over are our notes. Maybe we put doesn't, run to, I can't spell. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It doesn't run to California.
Thursday, it's fine.
You know what I mean? So leave these notes there for you.
Yeah, because what happens as a freight broker, we all have this, right? We all have this notebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to show this to you. I actually stole this from a freight broker. When I saw him yesterday, I said, hey, can I have your notepad for tomorrow? And so, I mean, they just write all these notes down. Put your notes in the system so they're organized. Right. In fact, the reason why I say that is when you make a list, guess what comes out?
Your notes?
Yeah, we export the notes. It's just this nice little touch. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. I have talked to that guy. He likes Dunkin' Donuts on Thursdays, and he won't go to Maryland.
Right. Maybe his birthday's on this day.
Exactly.
Send him a birthday
big
card.
Crab
You know what I mean?
Guy. Yeah, he's a big crab cake guy. So, honestly, I'm a big fan of sending birthday stuff.
Yeah.
Like when they're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Like it's such a fun thing for
Really,
me to do.
It can really make someone's day. So.
And I know we're talking trucking.
I know.
It's a big fan.
But yeah, there's that note that I left, right? So as you start running searches, you're gonna notice these notes. Oh, hey, I need to throw this guy on a list. I know he doesn't run to Cali, but he does go to Chicago. Let's throw him on my list.
Love that.
So as you call these carriers, leave a note.
Yeah.
Even if they don't want to work with you, let yourself understand. Hey, I've called this guy. Here's my notes on him, and we do actually show you if you call them or not.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice. We got going.
The other quick little utilities that are in here is besides the fruit fly from my banana, I'm thinking is we have the export button. You can pull all these people out. You have the copy button. So many people use email that are out there.
Right.
I don't know if emails honestly almost are starting to become a nuisance, or even at the point where you got to be really direct and specific with what you're looking for and hope that you catch them and it didn't go to their junk email. There's some crazy stuff going on with emails. Obviously you can copy their cell phones right out of here, go to a texting platform and keep going, right? So,
and I'm a big fan of, if you're going to send some emails, send them to these 25 and then follow up with a call, maybe like 10 minutes or so. Just say, hey, I shot you an email. I was hoping you had a chance to take a look. Is this something you could do? You got to, rate. But I did have a really good question. I do want to let you guys know. We do have that first, download the first 20 pages. So if you want to download any more than that, you do have to add to a list. So if I get the first 20 and let's just say I need to get to 38, you have to select all and then start adding to your list. I had a good question on that this morning.
I love that.
So it was a dispatcher, so I wanted to show them what to do.
Nice. But
yeah, I mean, there's no other platform out there like this to kind of keep you organized and get really deep.
Very granular.
On what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Very granular. We also have, and it's blurred out for the YouTube because they're not a fan of it. But we have a click to dial feature in here. We got the hyperlink, so you can grab the email right away. There's a lot of bells and whistles in here. It's almost like the BlackBerry. What are you accomplishing with the tools that we're giving you? So we're just trying to show you how to build the house. Right.
Exactly.
So
let's see here. Love that you can color coordinate. That's a great feature. It is a great feature.
It is very convenient.
I'm big on color. Oh, good question, Tim. So when I was leaving that note right here, that is just for you. Okay. Now, what is to the public are these notes, the kudos and freight flops that we discussed earlier. So your notes here are for you, and these kudos and freight flops are for everyone. Yeah, those are community driven. Right. If you are into the community side of things, we do have a social site. It's very entertaining. People get on there. That chat room is meant for just all of our users, and they can talk to each other. We've seen some relationship built on there. You can also talk to us, the help desk, or go to your tasks. So we have it. It is a kind of a versatile aspect of this new update that we're excited about and that we're continuing to grind on. Right. And honestly, let's be honest for just a second here. Well, we're honest all the time, but let's just be kind of vulnerable for a moment. Right. If there's something that's not right on here, let us know. Right. You know what I mean? We're building this with you guys. Nate and I, we didn't come from the software world. We just know trucks. We know trucks. We got some incredible programmers. This thing is something else today. But we have some incredible programmers that'll do whatever it takes. And we're always trying to get better. Every day, you guys should always try to get better, and that's what we do too. So, and I think the most important thing is we're available by phone Monday through Friday, as Jared's trying to catch this bug. Call us. Give us a call, please. Monday through Friday, call us. Let us know if we can help you, or maybe give you some more insight information on the sites. We sit with people constantly every day, Zoom meetings, showing you searches that you could be running today to help you find that next relationship. And that next relationship could definitely change your life. I love that. Yeah. I love that.
Nate, I appreciate today. Today was really good. It was very
Great.
just, let's find the right carriers for you. Obviously we got some great questions. Thanks for everybody being on today.
Right.
Also, tomorrow's show
Mm.
should be very entertaining.
Yep.
Frank and Shaggy, you're coming back.
Yep.
I don't know what we're talking about, but we're going to figure it out and dive into it.
Yeah.
So a lot going on. We're excited
Yeah.
about that. Any questions you have, hit us up at support@eCarrierCheck.com. Don't be afraid to leave us a Google review, please. This is how we grow. We're a small company. Love an opportunity to keep partnering with you guys and keep growing together. So
yeah. Thanks everyone for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Definitely check us out. Shaggy and Frank should be a good time.